For this video, I wanted to explain a large majority of the information we have about the First Order, where they came from, and why they may be far more dangerous than anyone really perceives. To explain exactly why the First Order is so powerful, we first need to talk about some of the events that occurred in the past, since the Order's power is a direct result of some of these events. A year after the events of Return of the Jedi and both the destruction of the second Death Star and both the deaths of Vader and Palpatine, the remaining members of the Empire rallied on the planet of Jakku, where they had amassed an army of weapons and troops. Since the Republic's attack had essentially come out of nowhere, the Empire did not have the time to effectively mobilize all their weapons and resources. The result of this was a bloody but nearly even battle between the two forces. Eventually, with the New Republic's final push, they vanquished the Empire's presence on Jakku, but suffered severe losses as a result. Nonetheless, the New Republic had won the war and forced the now defeated Empire to sign the Galactic Concordance, a document that stated that the Galactic Concordance officially ended hostiles between the New Republic and Galactic Empire and stipulated that the Empire remain within predetermined boundaries in the core and inner rim and cease hostilities following its surrender. It also called for the end of the recruitment and mobilization of stormtrooper forces, the abandonment of the numerous Imperial academies scattered across the galaxy, and the ultimate end to the Galactic Civil War. It also called for the Empire to give up its claim on the core world of Coruscant to the New Republic, along with abandoning the practice of torture. Although the majority of the Empire agreed to the terms and therefore became no threat at all, a group broke off and refused to have any part of the New Republic. The severed group traveled to the unknown space and territory where they could lick their wounds and orchestrate a return to power. This concerned some, but the new Senate ultimately viewed it unnecessary for them to pursue something that they perceived as a small group of extremists that couldn't possibly affect the development of the New Republic. Meanwhile, this group, now known as the First Order, regrouped and began expanding by colonizing new planets and forming an army of loyal stormtroopers, most acquired through kidnapping. All this was orchestrated and organized through the First Order's mysterious new leader who emerged to take control of the group from the dark side, giving the Order a much-needed push and further organization. This mysterious leader was known as Supreme Leader Snoke. Snoke was smart, and having witnessed the past blunders of the Empire, decided not to have one set base for the Order, instead opting to colonize many planets and spread the Order apart so that they could not be easily destroyed at once as the Empire was on Jakku. The First Order also put the vast majority of its resources into the military, since the responsibilities that the Empire had of maintaining a whole galaxy was no burden any longer. This allowed the Order to implement better weapons and training for their troops, better in fact than the Empire ever had available to them. Snoke then began to send small groups of First Order members into the Inner Rim to test the stability of the New Republic. This action was in large part made to cause a distraction to the Republic so that the First Order could begin construction on a design for a new superweapon, the Starkiller Base. The First Order also gained some power over the Senate through bribery and illegally transferring large amounts of credits to buy out senators who would stress the unimportance of the Order to the Senate and the people of the New Republic. However, not all were blind to the power the First Order was gaining. Leia Organa voiced her concerns, and with the help of many like-minded senators, the resistance was formed to combat the First Order. But this would prove difficult due to the Order being widespread in largely unexplored territory. It was also at this time that Snoke seduced Leia's own son, Ben Solo, to the dark side through manipulation over his grandfather, Darth Vader. Shortly after this, Ben, now referred to as Kylo Ren, with the help of other members of the mysterious Knights of Ren, slaughtered all of Jedi Master's Luke Skywalker's New Order, which caused the Jedi to go into self-imposed exile to help deal with this great tragedy. It was now, with the absence of Luke, that the First Order saw its chance, and with the Resistance and Leia largely distracted with locating Luke Skywalker, and the Republic none the wiser, the Order struck, and single-handedly wiped out the Republic using the newly constructed Starkiller Base. Later, the Resistance was able to destroy the base, and Luke was located by the Force-sensitive Rey. However, the presence of the First Order still looms over the galaxy, and the playing field has been evened. with all key members of the First Order still in play. So what makes the First Order such a threat? Well, in large part, I believe it's due to their overwhelming emphasis on the military. Unlike the Empire, the First Order does not have to worry much about others, allowing them to put all their resources into their military. Another thing is that the Order is clearly smarter and better trained than the Empire, learning from the Empire's past mistakes and not grouping together to allow for potentially crippling attacks. And even with the destruction of the Starkiller base, they have never been more dangerous, since now there is no Republic to stop them from taking back control over the galaxy. I would like to read a statement by Kylo Ren concerning the philosophy of the First Order. It is the task of the First Order to remove the disorder from our own existence, so that civilization may be returned to the stability that promotes progress. A stability that existed under the Empire, was reduced to anarchy by the rebellion, was inherited in turn by the so-called Republic, and will be restored by us. Future historians will look upon this as the time when a strong hand brought the rule of law back to civilization. So what do you think about the First Order? How exactly powerful do you think they are? Thank you so much for checking out my video. Please subscribe for future Star Wars videos. May the Force be with you, and have a great day.